Good evening and welcome to our March Town Council meeting to set our agenda for our April meeting. Before we move into items for discussion, we have a public comment period time, and it's the town's public comment period shall be reserved for those citizens that have signed up to address the town council or board or committee at least 24 hours in advance of the meeting pursuant to the town's public comment policy. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes, and additional comments may be submitted in writing. And tonight we have David Campbell with us. Hey, David. If you'll come forward and state your name and address, and I don't think we were, and if you live in the city, I don't think this is about the deferred second reading, though. I don't think. Okay, so
No.
if you'll state name, address, and if you live in the city.
My name is David Campbell. I live at 706 Riata Court, Smyrna, Tennessee. Been a Smyrna resident for about 32 years now. And just want to come back in front of the board. I was in front of y'all in February, and three other my neighbors came before y'all asking for a traffic study to be done in Burton Farms subdivision. Mayor, the next day, they were hot and heavy in there, and I think we counted 19 traffic stops from 5 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And then there were some more that night and a couple others the next day. I just want to tell you thank you. My neighbors want to tell you thank you for listening to us, and that we really do appreciate it. And we just ask that periodically they would come back, do another sweep, because it was well worth it.
Great.
Just thank you, Chief.
We appreciate you coming back and forth. We don't always hear thank yous, and we appreciate that. But we're glad that we could help out there, and I'm sure that Chief will make sure that periodically we're out there so that it keeps everybody on their toes and doing what they're supposed to.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, before we move into our items for discussion, I'd like to ask Mark to do our prayer, and Chief Irvin, if you'll do our pledge for us, if everyone will stand.
We bow. Father, we just come to you again today and just thank you for another beautiful day here. Father, we thank you for our town and the beauty of our town as well. Lord, we ask that you continue to watch over our town, our citizens, all those that serve the town, and put themselves in harm's way and just do the shovel work each and every day, Father. We don't take them for granted. We appreciate our employees, and Father, we just thank you for all of them and their families. Go with us now as we deliberate the business of the town. Continue to watch over us, forgive us, and let us remember that the Easter season is almost upon us, Father, and we pray that everybody will remember the reason for Easter is not an Easter bunny. Go with us now and bless us, and we thank you for everything. In His name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks, Mark. And Chief, okay, we will move into our items for discussion. First is approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute a contract with Azteca Systems to move the CityWorks application to a hosted platform.
Carl, I can take this one. We're going to actually ask Mayor that we defer this item and take it off the agenda. We're still working through some issues with the contractor.
Okay, then we will take this one off of the agenda for next month, or for April. Item 3 is approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute an agreement with Lumen to provide internet and DDoS protection and MPLS services for Fire Hall 4.
Good evening, Mayor,
Carl.
Council.
Carl. Thought we had an agreement.
Well, I have the full support of the Director of Utilities. I do have that for sure. And the Director of Parks, so.
Okay. Carl, you've gone to the dark side, side.
Well, actually, it's not that dark. It's kind of bright color. So, thank you, sir.
Which ones are still in the tournament?
I know, I agree. So, yes, sir.
But we got a
3.
big game tomorrow, so
You
go Vols.
do, I will agree.
All right. So this is a request for the mayor to be able to execute the contract with Lumen to provide internet, DDoS, and our phone circuits over to Fire Hall 4. So you all know when we built the new Fire Hall 4, one of the things is we were looking to use it as a secondary data center. This will actually give us the protection to allow us to use it fully as a secondary facility to roll over in case of the loss of this facility in any way. So this will do that. And the cost is not quite as expensive as it looks like on the contract, because when we brought the Lumen agreement in, I believe it was April, for consideration, there was an $800 reserve for that DDoS protection, and that we haven't executed. This will cover that.
Okay.
So,
Questions for Carl on this?
Yeah, Carl, I have one question. What's all the acronyms for?
well, hey, we love TLAs in IT, so everything's a three-letter acronym, or four letters in this case. DDoS is the Distributed Denial of Service Protection. So that is actually something that's actually been happening more recently. There's one hacktivist group that actually tries to flood your internet gateway with a bunch of traffic so it doesn't come through. This protection stops it, scrubs it, and sends through the traffic that's approved. MPLS is the acronym for a phone line. So,
Other questions? Thank you, sir.
thank you.
Item 4 is approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute the 2025 Fats, Oils, and Grease Program work proposal with Monitoring and Management Services. Mike?
Yes, ma'am. So this is our annual fats, oils, and grease program management. What MMS does for us is go to these sites, check the grease trap, certify the waste haulers, provide us a database. They handle, help us handle enforcement if there's any letters that need to be sent out. And this program has done wonders and does great at helping us keep stuff out of the sewer system, keeping it from backing up. So we would recommend approval.
Questions for Mike on the Fats, Oils, and Grease Program?
Mike, where's your tie?
Excuse me?
Where's your tie?
I found this one this morning. It doesn't feel right though, you know. I feel a little out of sync, so I apologize. Next time, next time.
Other questions for Mike?
So on the breakdown of cost, is this an estimated for, like, it says other FOG program assistance for the 50 hours?
Yeah,
Is that
it's-
based on what they've done in the past year?
It is, and it's a
Okay.
not to exceed number.
Okay,
The 29,302, that's a not to exceed. It
Okay.
has come in below that a little bit in the previous couple of years, so we expect the same.
all right.
Okay, item 5 is approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute extensions of the existing Phase 1 sewer rehab contract for CEI services and reimbursable expenses with Thomas and Hutton to include Phase 2.
Yes, ma'am. We do have CEI services currently with Thompson Hutton. This is the ARP-funded sewer rehab project. This will give CEI services for Phase 2, which is the trunk line, starting at Rock Springs, close to Branch Trail and going all the way to the plant.
Okay? Questions for Mike on this?
So I was a little confused on what the CEI amount was going to be, because the way I'm reading the summary, the cost for, that is stated is for the construction costs only. Is that 292 for the construction, or is that for the CEI?
The 292 includes everything. Construction observation, which is a lump sum, and any reimbursable expenses, time and expense that they would have to do in addition to that, it includes that as well.
Okay, so then the sentence says this amount for CEI services would not be included. What does that mean?
Okay.
So the CI services are not ARP-funded?
Oh, yes, that's correct.
So we just want to make sure that the council understands that this is a cost on the city. It is an ARP-funded project, but the
Right.
CI services are not.
So we're paying them out of our budget?
Correct, at a cost of $292,000.
Okay,
Yes, the grant doesn't cover CEI.
okay.
I understand. I apologize.
No worries.
Told you it was the tie.
Other questions?
Oh, I do have one more question. So the billing rates, I noticed in 2024, the rates were different than 2025. Are they billing at which one of those rates are these services?
They are
being billed?
billing at the new rates.
Okay, all right.
Other questions? Item 6 is approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute an agreement with Quanta for the installation of a high-pressure steel service line, metering station, meters, correctors, and fittings for large gas load.
So what this is the agreement with Quanta. I think we kind of discussed this a little bit. What Quanta is doing there, they're on New Sanford Road in Laverne, and that's part that we serve in Laverne. So they're actually taking natural gas, converting it in these cells, for lack of a better term, into electrical energy and testing these huge AI panels. And I think it'll convert into, 12 to 15 megawatts of power. This is a pretty big load, and we had to tie it to the high-pressure line, get the Bush Construction to come in and run everything. The total cost, I think, was somewhere in the neighborhood of $450,000. They'll put that in an escrow account and pay for everything, so there won't be any cost associated with the town.
Okay. Questions for Mike on this one? Okay, then we'll move on to item 7, which is approval of the terms of an authorization for the mayor to execute North Lowry Phase 2B change order number 2 to finish the project.
Yes, so on this change order, this work was already completed throughout the project. This is a final change order just to true up numbers. Everything's been already paid to the contractor. This is just a final true up of the project on Phase 2B.
Okay, then we'll move on to item 8, which is approval of the terms of an authorization for the mayor to execute extension of the current approved contract pricing for Hawkins and Price to the Front Street water line with additional costs not in the original contract added for traffic control, erosion control, and 3/4-inch stone backfill to match the road elevation.
Yes, this is the one Tom and I kind of talked to you guys a little bit about at the end of the last meeting. So I think it's been bid 3 times. The costs were astronomically high. So we were able to work with Hawkins and Price and get them to accept the same pricing per foot for installation. They had to add a few things that weren't in the original contract to complete this work on Front Street. So Tom can do his thing with paving and all that fun stuff.
Questions on this one?
The only question I have, Mike, when do you think they'll start that work? Do you-
Almost immediately.
Really? And then the street work, I guess, will start after that?
I met with Rollins Construction out there, and they looked at it. They'll be doing the stormwater work pretty close to the same time frame as Hawkins and Price is working. So, but I can't have 2 contractors in the same location at the same time, so there may be a little bit of delay between them.
Yeah, Mayor, the only question, how does this line up with some of the events down on Front Street?
Well, we had, when we had bid the project, what we had planned to do is to work around a lot of that. So we're gonna work with Mike. I know we got the dates of the events throughout this summer, so we're gonna work with them and our contractors as far as when they can work, when they need to close it up, and then just kind of shore it up while those events are gonna go on.
Great.
All the utilities are stay in the same place, we don't have to,
What this is replacing an old 2-inch and 6-inch line from College to Division with 8-inch.
right.
This ultimately is part of a bigger project, which is Highland Avenue Phase 2, but Tom was gonna do the road work here, and there's no need for him to do it, make it all pretty, and us to come back in and tear it up, so.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as the rest of the utilities, I'm talking about no lines have to be moved or anything like that outside of just the water line.
Water and storm sewer.
Storms, yeah.
Okay, okay. So we wouldn't be waiting on AT&T to move a telephone pole or nothing like that then?
No.
Okay.
Are you poking at Charles back there?
No, sir. I'll poke at him later.
Okay,
He
okay.
comes up a little later.
Okay. Item 9 is approval of the terms of an authorization for the mayor to execute an agreement with Thomas and Hutton for design, bidding, easement, and construction assistance for upgrading the water line on Enon Springs Road from Old Nashville Highway to Mason Tucker Drive, where we have experienced multiple leaks.
Okay, so, this is one that I've talked to Rex and Mr. Santucci about. So, you probably already seen at the intersection of Enon Springs and Old Nashville, all the patches in the road, it's where the water line's leaking. We've evidently got a bad section of line there. We've repaired multiple leaks down through there. So this is for design to replace that and get that out of there where we quit cutting the road all to pieces. It was put in prior to me coming here. I think they widened the road and for whatever reason did not move the water line out from under the road. And that's the plan now. Of course, there'll be a part that comes across the road, you know, and ties in, but we'll get over in the grass. There may be a few easements we have to get and get out of the roadway here.
'07, I think, somewhere around '07.
Well, do you remember when cattails used to grow up there, but the leak was so prolific?
Yep.
Okay,
Mike, is this budgeted item?
This is not a budgeted item. We're doing this because of all the leaks there and the trouble. We just fixed another leak down close to Mason Tucker, so
On this year, be on this year's budget?
it will be. Well, at least the design, we'll see how quickly we can get started. It's not a huge design project, but there is a few easements we'll have to get.
And to follow up on that, I guess we're doing roadway work from Florence to Ridley. And then if this water line work is done at some point from Ridley to Old Nashville Highway, will have to be redone if we get in there and tear all the road up with the water line.
So we need to look at timing?
Yeah.
So we need to look at timing, is that?
Well, I'm sure they've got it
Yeah,
figured
we'll
out.
fix back, you know, where we have to dig this out and tie in, we'll tie into the 12. And we'll fix all that back at the intersection, and then hopefully we won't have to tear it up again. Then if, you know, if Tom comes through and does a full paving thing, we'll have the new water line in place.
but it'll only
and,
have to be torn up to where you're gonna tie into the 12.
Yeah, where we're digging out, and we'll come to the
Right.
side over there and then come through down the grass.
Okay, other comments or questions? Item 10 is approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute extension of the existing contract for eSource to include analyzing and completing the required annual TBOR report to the comptroller's office.
Yes, so eSource has just completed the system leak survey that we did. They've done an outstanding job. They actually found 228 leaks, plus 13 customer side leaks. To date, we have repaired 203 of those 228, which directly relates to losses. So that kind of links us to the annual information report we have to send to TBOR. We want to contract with, you know, extend their contract and let eSource do it. They're well familiar with these reports and the financial data and stuff, and make sure that we get this right moving forward.
Questions or comments on this?
Mike, are we seeing more loss now? I know we've been talking about for years, repairing some of these. Is it improving or is it getting worse?
They're, as part of the leak survey, they will do an assessment, but they can't do it until we complete all the leak repairs that they found. Once they do that, they will be able to compare our monthly report after and before we started, and we'll be able to recognize, here's what percent it dropped us. It's come down just a tad. We were right around 30-ish, now we're 28-ish. But we'll see the real impact of these, fixing these leaks from right before we started to when we're done. But we don't have we have to finish these. Hopefully we'll have the April data that will be done. So they're getting close.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Other questions or comments? Okay, we'll move on to item 11, which is approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute a scope and fee proposal from Birch Transportation LLC for professional services traffic impact study for the 118th Wing relocation to the Smyrna Rutherford County Airport.
I'm Mayor and Council. This project is for the traffic impact study. Working with the Air Guard, they were not able to get their contracting in place for this fiscal year. So we're going to do the contracting for them, and then they will set up an escrow account with us, which we signed the agreement today with them, and they will reimburse us for the expense of that.
Charles, only question, I was looking at the study that they're proposing, and one thing jumped out at me, Weekly Lane at 9th Avenue. Obviously, with the county's proposed forensic center, it's pretty much right there on that same corner.
Right.
I'm assuming they'll take into account that proposed addition in the traffic study conversation. And then I guess my question, to Dave or to whomever is there an opportunity for us to partner with the county on any improvements that have to be done there? Because they're fixing to bring in their design and their building, and we're doing this. It's not just this that's gonna impact that intersection.
The answer to that is yes. But I'll also say that I suspect that the county's going to be asking for our assistance as well.
Right, the forensic center, I don't see it being that high traffic. There are only 5 to 10 employees, then the ones that'll be moving in and out.
That's if they don't add the other counties. That was what they said in
Right,
the
there's
presentation.
other future buildings that I'm not for sure what those are. We have already worked out the EMS connection there onto Weekly. We've got that working in my road project plan, so we've already accommodated that. And then we are looking back at Ninth, because we didn't make any other improvements there. So with this, Birch Transportation is going to be looking at that intersection to see if we do need a left turn lane or any other improvement, more improvements than what we're already envisioning now.
Okay, and I guess the last question is, how did you settle on Ninth and not Seventh or the one next to the, how are the other intersections not being considered?
Ninth is pretty much the straight through from Weekly down to where their new entrance gate is going to be. Eighth, if you go down Eighth, that goes to the Army Guards area, but once you get past Volunteer Park, you have to turn back to Ninth. 11th, it doesn't go through, it only goes to G Street. You get on down to Swan, you have to go through the Taylor Farms area. So Ninth looked like that would be the main road that would be used by people going into the guard area.
Okay.
So that's the two main ones. Birch is also, they're going to be looking at G Street, and we're looking at, weekends that Taylor Farms do, work some on weekends, so they're also going to be looking at that. But Ninth, G, and then Fitzhugh will be the main areas. Fitzhugh will be the main ones that we feel that the heaviest traffic will be coming in from Murfreesboro Road 24.
Okay, so we're thinking they're gonna all go in through the gate there.
Right,
and
that, the
they're not
gate's
go
gonna
to the new
be,
building out behind the Air National
right,
Guard.
the new gate's gonna be located at the same location, but it will be a 3-lane
Gotcha.
entrance, but that is gonna be their only entrance into the facility.
Gotcha, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Item 12 is approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute a contract with TDOT for State Route 266, East Sam Ridley Parkway, Jefferson Pike intersection at State Route 102 Nissan Drive, LM 5.01 in Smyrna.
This contract is for the double left turn lane project. We're looking at the total cost for this, and we do have the 80/20 carbon reduction program grant for this project.
Questions for Charles on this one? Okay. Item 13 is approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to adopt the Town of Smyrna Comprehensive Safety Action Plan. Hey, Charles.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Yeah, I don't know if we need to read the resolution now, or we need to wait on that, but, no, okay. So basically what this is we had gone out to Safe Streets for All, acquired the planning grant, and worked with Kimley Horn to prepare that planning grant. They did some evaluations, did some surveys with citizens. Also, we conducted several workshops. We invited other cities and the county nearby. Let's see. Also invited people from the school board to come over and talk to us about our Safe Streets for All project, and to identify areas where we need to improve our safety in our roadway systems and sidewalks. Basically, this is what we've come up with is a list of projects and prioritizing them as far as what we would need to do. What this is, what we're asking you to approve now is approval of the resolution, yes, and approval of the letter, the cover letter that was submitted, agreeing that what our mission is, our goal is to have a 20% reduction in fatal and serious injury crash rates by 2035. This is what we had discussed during the workshop with the co-workshop between council and planning. So that's basically what we're asking for here is for that approval. And then I think at the meeting, we're going to have a small presentation by Kimley Horn on exactly what the specifics are of the comprehensive safety action plan.
All right, Mayor had to step out for just a second. Any questions on this item?
Yeah, I've got a question. Tom, what about the fatality that happened on Rocky Fork, Almaville? a couple weeks ago. How will that play into this data? Will it be included or will it not? Do you know?
If it was on a town road, happened in 2025, it will be included in further evaluations of it to see how we're meeting, if we're meeting that 20% reduction. Leo is here from Kimley Horn. You could probably answer it better than I could, but they calculate what that progressive rate is based on previous years of data for fatal and serious crashes. So then they add the 2025 data in and then continue to project where we are looking to be at in 2035.
Well, I just want to commend y'all because I think this puts the roadway needs, you know, not only from their evaluation, but citizens' inputs to where we actually prioritize it. And I think it moved Almaville Road up to number one since I think Jefferson Pike was number one until you included the improvements, and then Almaville Road moved up to number one. So I think this is a good systematic of how we can look at, you know, our budget in the future about what projects to tackle.
Hamill Road is a lot of work.
Yeah.
And this
Any other
plan-
questions? We're still on the same one, so welcome back.
Okay, then we'll move on to item 14, which is approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute a renewal agreement with the WeGo Public Transit for Regional Transportation Authority's 86X from Smyrna Laverne Express commuter bus service.
I'll take this one. So this is an agreement that I think we have the exhibits, and we'll move on to next slide. Thank you. So this is an agreement that we have with them, and the cost to us is, let me get over to the cost, but before we do, I want to point out a little bit of the history, which y'all probably may be more familiar with than me, but this shows the ridership of the route of the X86 route, which is Express 86. And you can distinctly see the ridership was much higher before COVID, and then it's been steadily improving since then. The one important thing that I do want to point out is that when they did stop the bus route and bring it back, they removed Murfreesboro from that route. So naturally, the numbers are going to be a lot lower. So we are seeing.
They're not providing service to Murfreesboro, it's just not on
Correct,
this
they have a
route.
separate route now,
Right.
so there's two routes, and so this particular route has lower ridership than it used to, simply because those Murfreesboro numbers are removed. But I do recommend continuation of this partnership with them. As you know, we do hope to see this improve in the future as we see changes along the corridor, particularly the I-24 Choice Lane project.
Well, and just so you all know, we've also had lots of discussion on the RTA at the board meetings and with the other mayors, that until we can get people to Nashville and they have options once they get to Nashville to get around to jobs or whatever they're needing to get to in Nashville, that sometimes people want to have their own form of transportation to get down there. So that has been a big discussion as well. And Dave and I have a meeting in the next couple of weeks to have discussion about the grants that we've currently gotten for everybody with this ridership, so. Okay, item 15 is consideration of an ordinance to approve mid-year budget amendments for fiscal year 2025, and this is a second reading. Hey, Rex.
Mayor and council, these are the proposed mid-year budget amendments for fiscal year 2025. The amendments are primarily due to the implementation of the pay plan and under budgeted items such as a major thoroughfare plan, items budgeted in fiscal year 2024 that arrived in fiscal year 2025, such as the fire department truck and portable radios and the stormwater dump truck. There are replacements of wrecked vehicles for the parks and police department, along with various other projects. And staff is recommending approving these budget amendments, and this is a second reading.
Questions on these? We've had quite a bit of discussion on these.
Only question I had was about the major thoroughfare plan. Maybe Rex, you said that you're shifting some money to revise it, or what was the expense associated with the major thoroughfare plan?
I just think it got started later than Kevin originally anticipated.
Okay.
He can speak to that.
Kevin, was that also the one that we applied for the grant?
We did apply, yes. We applied for a grant from TDOT. They have a funding program now, the state, that they'll give grants. We applied and we're not successful getting that grant.
Okay.
And so we got a little bit later start, and so we had to, some of the funding got pushed into this budget year that was
Okay.
more than what we anticipated.
Sure, thanks.
Okay, item 16 is consideration of an ordinance relative to the annexation and R3 zoning of property on tax map 54, part of parcel 14.03. It's requested by Robert Tresidor, containing 1.77 acres. The property is located at Greengate Place, and it is a second reading.
Yes, Mayor and Council, this is the request that was deferred for 2 months to allow Mr. Treasurer to work on some, with the Westover Homeowners Association, and to try and come to some sort of an agreement there with them. And so he has, for some reason I'm not advancing, I'm sorry. He has worked on that. He's has created some requirements, and it's one of those requirements that they would join and become a part of the Westover HOA. They would also would be the requirements are actually more restrictive than what Westover requires, so he should be able to meet those the Westover folks their concerns, I believe. We also, just so everyone's aware, we did, since it was deferred 2 months, we did revise our signage so that the new dates for the new public hearing is on there, so we are consistent with the new state law regarding, those advertisements, just so everyone's aware of that as well. So, nothing else has changed on this. It's still the same area and the same lots and all of that. It's just, he has met the requirement or the request of the council to look at his restrictions on those lots, so.
Those restrictions?
I don't know if you all have them or not. I received them, I don't know if I received them in time, so we get them in the packet. We'll certainly get those to you, certainly.
Just email them.
Yeah, certainly can do that.
Other questions or comments? In the emails that he had sent to me, I mean, it seems that he has worked really hard to try and meet the request of the homeowners association.
Would we hear from the homeowners, you know, if they, when we vote on it?
I mean, they have the right to speak at the public hearing.
There'll be a public hearing again, and the signage was revised with the new date and time and everything is what we require.
Well, hopefully they'll come and speak, and hopefully they say, yes, they've worked things out where they're going to have restrictions similar to the HOA that's in there now.
If not
He said
more.
They're gonna have to
were
join
more
the
restricted.
HOA.
More restricted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the housing, the minimum size and all that is actually more than what Westover has, and
Yeah.
they would be joining the HOA as well.
They're
So
joining.
They would be required to join, those two homes would be required to join the HOA, so they would be paying dues and all that.
And the HOA is receptive to that now?
As far as I know, yeah, I haven't heard from them at all. I know he was meeting with them to talk about it, so.
I kind of got tickled because Westover didn't happen without Mr. Tressler.
Well, I know, it's kind of the dog wagging the tail.
Right.
But I'm
Tail
not sure
wagging
some
the
of them knew that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's probably true.
Well, it'd be good to hear from them, just to make sure, yeah. Of course, if they don't come and speak, we won't know.
Yeah, usually we don't hear from them unless they don't like it. If they like it, we probably won't hear.
Except for Mr. Campbell came tonight.
That's true.
That's right, that's
So
right.
We appreciate Mr. Campbell.
But she said we don't usually hear that.
that's right. Okay, item
Wait a
7.
minute, I have another question. It's
Oh,
just
sorry.
kind of on the side to it. Looking at wait, go back.
Okay, I'm
Can you
sorry.
do that?
Did what?
The shaded area behind the houses on, what is it, Kennebunk there, that's inside the city, are those 3 lots subdivided? What are those?
Those are a part of the Westover development Those are their common areas.
Yeah, I went out there and looked at
Detention
this.
pond, too.
The big one up at the top is the detention pond.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty deep one, so that one is runoff. I don't know about the other two, but that's what that top one is.
That's all I wanted to know.
Okay. Item 17 is our housekeeping item, consideration of a resolution and memorandum of ordinance 25-6 relative to the annexation and R3 zoning of property located on tax map 54, parcel 14.03. We'll put that on the agenda. And item 18 is consideration of an ordinance relative to the rezoning of tax map 34G, Group A, parcel 1.00, to go from PRD with LSO to PID with LSO, requested by Robert Latimer. The property requested to be rezoned contains approximately 1.45 acres and is located at the intersection of South Lowry Street and Stewart Drive, and this is a second reading. Kevin?
Yes, Mayor and Council, this is, nothing has changed on this since you looked at it on first reading, except they have submitted revised plans, which is in your packet, that do show the sidewalk along Lowry Street. That's the only thing that has changed since you looked at it on first reading. This would be a rezoning from the PRD, which is 21 townhomes is what's approved there currently, to PID, which is for a 78,277 square feet climate-controlled self-storage building. It was recommended for approval by council. I do have in the packet today, I don't know if there's anyone here tonight with any issues or concerns about it, but we do have the additional information in the presentation tonight that we didn't have before with regards to what the building will look like and all that. The Planning Commission did review this, did recommend approval. There were 5 conditions. The required minimum number of parking spaces for the zoning ordinance is 26. They have requested an exception to allow for 22. The minimum building setback is, per the LSO, is 40 feet. It would be, as shown, it would be 25. The awnings and canopies, there are some requirements for those in the LSO, and the developer did request an exemption to those. And the landscaping requirements will be required to be reviewed in detail with a site plan if this is approved. There is an exception regarding Lowry Street because of some utility conflicts along what would be there along Lowry Street. And the type D buffer along the northeastern side of the site was including the fencing there in addition to the type D buffer. And then again, to provide the sidewalk along South Lowry Street. So again, this is just showing the 2 differences in the type of awnings. What's above is what's required, what's below is what's they've requested. And then again, we do have the other renderings or views of the building. So just, again, you all have this in your packet, but we need to put that in the presentation as well. So, and I think that's all I've got.
Questions for Kevin on this one?
Yeah, Kevin, I have a couple questions. On the, and this might go to Mark and Steve as well, on the 25-foot front setback, how does that compare to what the Depot Apartments, 101 Depot, is set back?
I think it's further away than
Yeah,
the
I think they were
101
20.
Depot. They were, I can't recall exactly what those were, but I do believe it's further away. I'll check on that and
Yeah.
confirm.
Also, it's actually 40 from the edge of the road. So
Right.
apartments are only like 20 from the edge of the road.
Yeah,
So it's 40 from the edge of the road, 25 from that easement line, right?
Yeah.
So it's,
well,
I would
those
say
are
it's
some of
about
the
double.
comments. Yeah, I've heard, about 101 Depot, they felt like it's just a little bit too close to the roadway. And then the other thing is, they're about 78,000 square feet here, correct?
Correct.
And I've talked to a few people that they say the typical size of these are 10 by 10, which do we know how many units are going to be in there? Is it 780?
I don't know, we haven't seen the actual building
Okay.
plans yet, so I
We
don't know.
won't see that till
They-
it comes in as site plan.
they told us in planning that 20% of that square footage is common area, like hallways, elevator room, storage, and office space.
So, but
So the
we'll get-
78,000, if you take 20% off of that,
Yeah.
you're down to about 60. So if it's 10 by 10, it could be 600 units.
Yeah.
They brought it to us before, and it was like 20,000 square foot bigger,
Yeah.
and so we denied that.
And this thing's gonna be 4 stories with a parapet wall.
It's 4 stories on the,
Basement.
It's
on
like
the.
3.5.
It's like, yeah, the front, along Lowry Street, it will look like the 4-story, because that's the.
With a
They're
parapet
at the slope
wall,
of the,
yeah.
and there is a parapet wall, yeah. And so it kinda, you can kinda see it somewhat on this one as you go up. This is like from South Side Drive, it kinda, the back.
On the
will be-
condos.
Right,
yeah.
but that'll be the 3-story on the back and kind of a
And then
half
4
basement or so.
stories in the front.
Correct, yeah.
Because that lot kinda climbs in elevation.
Exactly, correct.
Yeah.
They
Okay,
did say,
I-
they did say in the plan that their storage units will range from 25 square foot, which is 5 by 5, up to 300 square feet, which is 10
Okay.
by 30.
Yeah, I'd just be curious on how many,
Yeah, they said it's undetermined at this time. It says
how
it in
many
there.
units, just kinda give us a look at the traffic count, but that's a 4-lane road and there's no need, I guess, for a crossover. Is there a crossover there already on both streets at the median?
There's, no, you could only, you'd be right in, right out only at South Side Drive. Now, at the other entrance, the street, and apologize, I can't recall the name of that street.
Right. Okay,
Stewart,
you have a
right there.
crossover.
You have a crossover there. This
Sure.
is a right in, right out only.
Sure. Okay, thanks.
Okay, other questions or comments? Okay, I did not have anything on my desk under other tonight, so, oh, Rex is giving me the finger that he has an other.
It's a financial finger.
Yes, sir.
Index.
Ah, index, got it.
Yes, as you know, I've been thinking about retirement for some time, and,
Don't do it.
and,
Says the guy who's retired.
It's awful.
and initially I'd kind of settled in on February the 1st, but, you know, that's kind of right in the middle of the budget, and I didn't really feel good about that, so, I'm looking at the end of June, 1st of July, we'll have the budget done, wrapped up and sent to the comptroller, and just kind of wanted to get that out there for everybody to see, to hear.
Well, we hate to lose you, but we're happy for you to go on to the next chapter, whatever that might be. But I think everybody knows that we're in the position we are here in the town because of all of your leadership and what you've done for us financially. So we can never say enough thank yous to you, so.
Thank you very much.
And nobody does it alone. We know you have a support staff back there and a team in the finance department that step up and do their jobs and do it well. Rex, I've known you a long, long time, and I know we've talked about this for the years, about your decision to come and eventually retire one day and go have some fun, enjoy life a little bit without the stress of a job. But you know, a lot of credit, I agree with the mayor, a lot of credit goes to you for the way we've operated the town in a very fiscally responsible way, and from a budget perspective, you keep your eye on it. We pay for a lot of projects as we go. And I remember the mayor putting the pressure on you to get us to a AAA bond rating, and you did it.
Just a
right?
little.
So, and that's not easily done, right? So our credit rating's excellent because of a lot of the work you've done in the finance part of how the town operates. And I, for one, want to tell you how much I appreciate you and love you as a friend. You know, you've been there for a lot of things for me over life, and I just appreciate you, so.
Thank you.
What's your
It's,
hire date, Rex?
Pardon?
Your hire date?
October 1st, 1990.
It's a good run. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. You know, I've talked to a lot of people, and everybody says, you know, you're going to love it, and there's no doubt that I will, but I'm kind of in a unique situation because I love my job. I love the people that I work with, and I really enjoy contributing to the community. So,
You'll just be doing that in other ways.
Hey, yes, Rex, there is life after retirement, okay? Do you want to continue to contribute to the community?
I thought you might still be working. I saw this Thomas Hutton stuff on this agenda
No,
tonight.
I'm detached from Thomas and Hutton. I'm very selective on what I do now.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. a lot of work in Spring Hill. But thank you for all the years. I've told everybody, if Rex says it, you can take it to the bank and always trust your numbers and what you present and everything. So thank you for all the service to the community. And I can just tell you, you'll enjoy the 2 o'clock naps. Okay?
He does that in his office now.
Okay, thanks, Rex.
Thank you very much.
Jeff, anything tonight? Kevin? Charles? No, that's good. Carl? Okay. Mike? Tom?
There should be a slide coming up about Kedron Church Road. He's gonna bring that, there we go. Okay, so as you know, Kedron Church Road's kind of been a cut through between Rocky Fork Anvil and Rocky Fork Road for many years. As you know, Kedron Church Road goes through the creek, and there have been issues from time to time with the water getting up and being endangered. We have to go in and close it. Recently, this last winter, we had several cars drive through, going like south to north through Kedron Church Road, through the creek, and we're dragging up water onto Rocky Fork Road. It froze and caused several accidents. This is something that Dave and I discussed about eliminating the section through the creek. It's something that Bankside was going to be doing when they developed out further with their next phase. I think they had that approved by planning about 5 years ago, and then they didn't do it. They didn't expand. They didn't follow through that plan. And so what we're going to go ahead and do is eliminate that section through the creek. So we've notified people who are landowners who have driveways that connect to Kedron Church Road, let them know what our timeline is going to be. Basically, on the 31st, on Monday, we're going to be putting out some message boards on each end, letting people know that it's going to be closed. On the April 14th, we're going to be putting some barricades up on each end of that red section you see on the screen. Just let people know that they can't use it anymore. We're going to be installing some dead-end signs at Rocky Fork Anvil and Kedron Church Road. And then on, I believe it's the 1st of May, we're going to come in here and remove that section of roadway. We're going to put soil and grass back down on it, seed and straw it, and let it establish back as just natural grass. Just want to let everybody know what's going on. And it's basically a public safety issue. It's a short distance to go. It's about 1,300 feet to go from the intersection down to the intersection of Rocky Fork and Rocky Fork Amival Road. So not that far out of the way, and improve safety in this area.
Similar to what you guys did off of Sam Davis at Mitchell Moore.
Yeah, the Maple Street that goes through Creek.
Call it Creek Hill.
Or Maple View Street.
Yeah, and, you know, I'd gotten, I think we'd all got an email about that, and appreciate you and Dave looking at that.
Yeah.
Tom, that's the end of an era.
Yes, it is.
I mean, attended Kedron Church all my life, and, you know, one of the highlights of it when you're a kid is driving down through the
Yeah. It's all fun and games till somebody loses an eye.
Until Parker floats away.
Somebody-
Your car
somebody
floats
loses
down
an
the
eye.
creek.
I'd be curious what Dan would say about it, because I think he used to stop in the creek and take photos of blue herons, you know, all the time.
Blue hares.
We were kids, we'd climb that creek and when it would ice over, and in our cars. I know people have lost their cars in that creek.
Huh.
Okay. Anything else? Thanks, Tom. Mike? Christie? Briggs? Heather? Chief? Amber? You have a slide?
Yes, ma'am. So this is one of our census winners. We've been doing weekly drawings through the month of March, and so far we have been able to successfully connect with 5 of the 6 winners that we've drawn thus far. I've left a message for the 6th winner and haven't heard back yet, but I'm sure they'll be calling anytime. So There's still time to win in our weekly drawings. We will be doing another one after this week. Anybody who enters or who already has entered is eligible to win, so complete your census if you haven't already. Middle Tennessee Electric has partnered with us, and there's actually going to be inserts going in all of the utility billing through Middle Tennessee Electric, beginning April 7th through May 6th. And to date, we have counted 41,000 residents. It was a little higher, but every time I get it up a little more, Mitch goes in there and does some cleanup on the back end and brings me back down to reality. So 41,000 is what we've counted thus far, with 14.2 thousand homes accounted for. So we do know the number in there is accurate at this time. So we just need to continue having people respond. The firefighters are out. I know they're more appreciative of the weather this time of year. It's longer days and a little warmer, so at least we've gotten through the cold spell, but help them out and get those responses in. That's all I have.
That's it. Dave?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I want to highlight an event that I got to go to last week, which was National Gas Utility Workers Day. Mike, thanks for inviting me out and allowing me to join you and your staff, as well as our water sewer maintenance folks. Excellent barbecue that we had out there with some coleslaw and some chips, and Rex was out there as well, Mr. Spearman, and Heather was out there as well too. So just a great opportunity for us to recognize these folks, the great work that they do. Our Smyrna Natural Gas is our local energy provider for the town of Smyrna and the city of Laverne, as we talked about a little bit earlier. And we serve over 12,000 customers here in town, to include Nissan and soon to be the new place, Quanta. So huge, huge operation. They do a great job and keep us safe. I want to thank you all for what you do.
Anything else?
That's it.
Jeff?
Congratulations, Rex.
Okay. Jerome?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I have a public service announcement. And whoever printed these, thank you for the large font.
We had that discussion the other
Yes,
day,
we did.
didn't we?
The Smyrna Fire and Police Annual Easter Egg Hunt, which will be Saturday, April 12th at 1 p.m., Lee Victory Park. Rain date is scheduled for Saturday, August 19th at 1 p.m., ages 1 through 12. What?
August, you meant April 19th.
April, not August, sorry. Excuse me. April 19th at 1 p.m. Wishing my life away. Join us for the annual Smyrna Fire and Police Easter Egg Hunt, sponsored by Smyrna Natural Gas. Ages 1 through 12 are welcome to join in on the fun. And the Easter Bunny will be on site, and I'm not sure if Steve or Mark is playing that part this year. Rain date, Saturday, April 19th at 1 p.m. and Smyrna Fire and Police Department Easter egg hunt. It will be at the Lee Victory Recreation Park.
And remind everybody not to be late.
That's
Don't be
right.
late, yeah.
It's done.
Yeah.
Jerome, if you've not been
It's
out
quick.
there, if they're 5 minutes late, it's
Missed
over.
out.
It's over.
Yeah.
Raquel?
I do have a slide as well. Please come out and join us for Easter brunch at the Smyrna Event Center on April the 20th, 2025. This is by reservation only, so please call 615-459-4444 for your reservation, or you can email Karen Cawthorn, and it's Karen, Karen .Cawthorn, COTHERN, @townofsmyrna.org. And just to highlight some of the things that are on the menu, let's see, we have roasted leg of lamb, honey glazed ham, beef medallions, southern fried chicken, and then a host of vegetables and rolls, salads, and desserts. So if you have not made plans for your Easter lunch or brunch, please come out and join us on April the 20th. There are 2 settings. There is an 11 to 12:30 p.m. setting and a 12:45 to 2:15 p.m. setting. So if you need to make arrangements, please call. And lastly, Rex, thank you for your service to the town, and congratulations on your about-to-be retirement. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Great. G?
If you talk about something long enough, you finally get a slide. As we all know, that the majority of our budget, or the good portion of our budget is from the local sales tax. So let's shop local. Rex, who am I gonna say this to after July, you know? The next slide, love where you live, keep Smyrna litter free. Just put it in the car, and when you stop at the gas station or whatever, put it in the trash bin there. When you're going to the convenience center on Weekly Road, be sure that everything is secured in the back of your truck. Okay, I'm gonna steal Mary Esther's thunder. Happy birthday, Miss Esther.
There you go.
And I have one
It's a
more
big one.
thing. Hi, Mom. That's all I got.
Terry?
Yes, I have a slide as well. Vietnam Veterans Day is observed on March the 29th to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the end of the U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War. In 2025, we will mark the 50th anniversary of the conclusion of American participation in the Vietnam War. Over 58,000 of more than 3 million men and women who served in this conflict made the ultimate sacrifice, and that included nearly 1,300 people from Tennessee. We're forever grateful to our veterans for their courage, sacrifice, and unwavering dedication. Their service has safeguarded our freedoms, and their bravery inspires us every day. Tennessee is proud to be the home of more than 160,000 Vietnam veterans. Vietnam Veterans Day serves as an opportunity to honor all Vietnam veterans and their families, recognizing the valuable contributions they made throughout our communities. So thank you, Vietnam veterans. We really appreciate your sacrifice. That was going on when I was in high school, and actually the draft ended, I think, my senior year in high school. So I did know quite a few friends that served in that, and we very much appreciate it. Rex, congratulations as well. The one word that comes to mind is integrity, and just the time that I've known you, that I appreciate what you do and what you stand for. I really do. That's all I got, Mayor.
Steve?
Yeah, a couple things. I also have a slide. I guess we'll start there since it's up on the screen here. Smyrna Fire and Police Department's proud to announce the return of their joint effort for the Police and Fire Youth Academy. The 2025 Smyrna Fire and Police Youth Academy will be June 9th through 13th. The academy is designed for children ages 8 to 13. Activities will be held at Smyrna Fire Station Number 2, which is on Fitzhugh Boulevard. It's on the airport, by the airport. It's from 9 to 3, Monday through Thursday, with a graduation ceremony planned for Friday, June 13th. Priority will be given to the town of Smyrna residents and first-time participants. The class is limited to 50 students, and applications are processed on a first-come, first-served basis. So if you're interested, you better get it in quick. Registration starts April 1st at townofsmyrna.org. Completed applications can be delivered with a registration fee to $40 to Smyrna Police Department, 400 Enon Springs Road East. I want to wish a happy birthday to Almus Raymer. Y'all might remember this time last year we did a proclamation for his 99th birthday. He's my wife's uncle, and he served in World War II. He lives here in Smyrna. Saturday is his 100th birthday. So there's also a celebration. Some folks from the VFW and some friends are going to have a celebration for birthday at his house. So happy birthday to Almus, 100 years old on Saturday. And Rex, there's going to be a lot more to say, but you still got a few months to go and one more budget retreat. But you know, I echo everything they've said up here. You know, there's one thing, I think Jerome said it. If Rex says it's true, then it's true. You know that it's going to happen the way he said. And I'm going to be honest, when I first came to the council, municipal budgeting is different than corporate budgeting. And I struggled with understanding the logic in some cases. But more times than I can count, your numbers were right and my thought was wrong. And so now I've learned to trust Rex's numbers. So I appreciate everything you've done. And I mean, you've taught me a lot about the difference in budgeting and how it works in a municipal environment. So thank you.
I was thinking about, a little over a year ago, the town was awarded excellence in governance at the TML. And that doesn't happen without Rex. I mean, you just can't run a city and not be fiscally responsible. And so I give you credit for a lot of the credit we sometimes get for awards like that. So thank you for that. Mike, I met a young man this past week, Justin Davis, I think is his name. I wrote it down. Oh, I hope, did I get it right? Polite young man, very nice young man, doing some service work out in town, and I got to talking to him. He said to tell everybody thank you for their pay raise. Our employees sound like they're appreciating what we did for them, and a very nice young man. I had time to talk to him, so I just want to give him a little shout out. Don't forget there's a pancake breakfast Saturday morning over at the Masonic Lodge in Smyrna from 7 to 10 a.m. if you're interested in pancakes, eggs, bacon, all that good stuff. Last but not least, because she's already done it, I will go ahead and tell your mother a very happy birthday as well, and I'll turn it over to you.
I think you have a slide.
I do have a slide. I was going to turn that over to you, too.
I can do it.
So Smyrna Town Hall, the Smyrna Justice Center, and the Smyrna Outdoor Adventure Center will serve as a collection sites for items for Archie's Promise. For several years, Archie's Promise has partnered with the Rutherford County Schools to provide personal hygiene vending machines and supplies for students. Most of the vending machines contain travel-sized toiletries that are offered free to Rutherford County students. Currently, there are 8 vending machines located throughout Rutherford County, including one at Smyrna Middle School. Schools are selected for this program based on requests from principals, and the machines are placed in discrete areas within the administrative offices to ensure students' privacy. If you want to know more about that, log on to www.rcschools.net. Now you can have it.
Couple of items. First is ribbon cuttings. Congratulations to Harpeth Valley Dental and Cadence Real Estate on their recent ribbon cutting ceremonies.
Dermatology.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, I should have, yeah.
They don't pull teeth there.
That's right. So, congratulations to Harpeth Valley Dermatology and Cadence Real Estate. And then, our Cedar Stone Park Food Truck Friday program is back on April 4th from 5 p.m. to 7. Come out and join us for food and fun. Food trucks will be selling barbecue, ice cream, hot dogs, Italian ice, and much more. We have, Amber, was it 23 applicants we had for the?
I believe so. Yes, ma'am.
And let me tell you, for our Jeff Coos Scholarship, and we've gotten our binders and have started reading through those. We have it's going to be some tough competition to narrow it down to 3, but, so we're excited about those 23 applicants. I do want to say congratulations to Wayne Blair on receiving the Boy Scout Award yesterday. Well-deserved. And also, thank you to United Communications, who have stepped up and are going to provide internet service to the Boys and Girls Club here in Smyrna, Murfreesboro, and Bedford County for free. And Steve, you said it was a pretty big deal, the amount.
They're giving them 8 gig service for free. So it's a significant speed. They're going to be able to do a lot with that. They said it would save them, what did they say, $10,000 a year because they're paying for internet service today. So it's going to save $10,000 a year just to the Smyrna branch.
So, HG and Mark, y'all said today is a big day for Mama. It's her 80th birthday, and so we celebrated last night since we had council meeting tonight. But so happy birthday to Mama. She is always stepping up, not only helping me, but quite a few people. So I appreciate all she does. So
I just want to know if your dad paid for the meal.
he did. He paid for all. Let's see, there was 11 of us last night, so he sure did. We went to Sperry's, and that's one of Mama's favorites. So we had a nice meal and great company. So anything else? If not, then we're adjourned.